Crimson Trace announces Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system, combining a green laser and 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type rifles. Link, smart, simple, secure. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Welcome back to Gun Talk, live from the 2017 SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. From the Colt booth, here's Tom Gresham.
And we are back. Hour 3 of Gun Talk in the Colt booth at 2017 SHOT Show. We really do appreciate the folks at Colt hosting us over here. They've got, of course, their new Cobra revolver, very cool, and a new Gold Cup that is really, really sweet. If you get your hands on that, you're going to want it. Looks good, shoots well. Visiting right now with a friend of ours from way back, Eddie Stevenson. Eddie, before we talk about Trijicon and all the cool stuff there, let's talk hunting.
Okay.
You had a pretty good season, huh?
Yes, sir. I had one of the best seasons ever, to be honest.
What'd you do? Where'd you hunt?
Well, I hunted quite a bit from South Texas to Newfoundland to Alaska, and I was able to harvest my first grizzly this year.
Oh, man.
A beautiful bull moose in Newfoundland and a near Boone and Crockett whitetail in South Texas in the backyard almost.
Holy cow. You did have a good season.
Very good season. I got the elk hunt on top of that and several other things thrown in there.
Was this all because you have to go test all this cool stuff?
Absolutely, you have to. You know,
work.
You have to do your homework. It's rough as it can be at times. And but to be truthful, if you don't do that, how do you come up with good products?
Well, that's the other part of it. And people say we're joking about it, but at the same time, you have to go put it out there. You have to find out, does it work out there? What do we need to change? What do we have to tweak? Take the prototypes out. Beat them up. Put them in the rain.
And as you know, my job's working with the media, so it's our job to educate them in real-world situations.
Right.
And you can say all you want about how good something is until you put it to the test.
You got to get out there, and when it's freezing, does everything still work the way it's supposed to?
Yep.
And sometimes it's the little things. Do the adjustments work? Does the eyepiece focus? Just stuff where you're thinking, do they think about that in the lab,
exactly,
when they're doing their R&D.
An engineer.
But now, to be fair, in the case of Trijicon, you got such a history of people using Trijicon products in the most rigorous conditions anywhere on the planet, quite literally, South Pole, North Pole, heat, dust, water, every place, because of, all the special forces units that use your stuff.
Absolutely.
I would imagine they test it pretty well.
Quite a bit. And we have been known to overbuild things, every once in a while, and that's a good thing.
I was just going to say, what? Nobody ever, other than weight, nobody ever complained that my thing didn't break, right?
Exactly.
Nobody ever comes back and says, I sure wish your thing would have broken when I fell down that mountain.
And I may have fallen down a mountain once or twice this year.
You think so?
Honestly, absolutely. And the optics still worked, and I made the shot.
So where was that?
A good thing. That was in New Mexico on an elk hunt, actually, and the same thing for grizzly in Alaska.
No kidding.
As you know, it can get pretty rough out there.
Yeah, you're sliding down a mountain.
Sliding down mountains and falling off horses and stepping in bogs and,
Man, and then you pick your rifle up and you're thinking, sure hope this thing's still sighted in.
Yep, and you have a grizzly to look down at.
Yeah, okay, that adds a little bit of pucker factor to it. All right, so
yes,
you guys, I was on your website this morning. I saw the release and said, I got to go look at this 1 to 8.
Sure.
So, that was the thing that got my attention right off the bat. So what is this thing?
Well, we introduced several things this year, but the 1 to 8 is one of the more exciting products that we are really, really happy about. It seems like these days 1 to 8 is an extremely popular magnification range. It's great for everything from competition to military law enforcement to hunting. And,
right.
As you know, we want to be involved in all those segments. So what our engineers did, we took a really hard look at what people are willing to pay for, the quality they need, the illumination that we're known for.
Right.
So we introduced this within the AccuPower line, which is an LED battery-powered version.
Okay, so it is an optical, it's a rifle scope.
Yes, sir.
It's a rifle scope, a 1 to 8 rifle scope. It does have lighted reticle.
Yes.
and it works off of a battery as opposed to the tritium,
fiber optics,
tritium. Okay,
that we're known
because
for.
that helps you hold the cost down too, I would think.
It does, and it allows us to provide that. This is a $1,600 optic,
right.
And for Trijicon, that's a very attractive price point.
Yeah, it is.
And looking at the market, we did our homework, and that is the sweet spot for a 1-to-8 high-quality rifle scope.
And just to put a fine point on it, from a competition, we got that figured out because you're shooting stuff up close, and then you may all of a sudden be out at 500 yards.
Right.
All right. For a hunter, the way to use that, and just jump in this, I'm thinking is to leave it on the low power when you're hunting.
Sure, and then go wherever you want up from there.
Yeah, because if he's way out, you're not in a hurry.
You have the time.
If he's at 300, 400, 500 yards, you didn't just jump him. But if he's at 6 yards and jumps up in front of you, you don't want it turned up to 8. You want it down on 1.
Absolutely.
So you can just take your snapshot at 1, keep both eyes open.
And one thing we did right absolutely out of the gate that we learned from the ACOG, the VCOG, and anything else with custom reticles that we have.
Right.
We designed this with a segment circle reticle.
Yeah.
With range gradients with MOA or mils. You can choose what you want.
Okay.
So imagine something that's good for Cape Buffalo at 25 yards.
Right.
Out to 700-800 yard precision shooting on 8 power as much as you can.
Right.
And you have mils or MOA built into the reticle. So you can do everything.
Whatever you want to do, you can do it with it. Now it's
Absolutely.
a 28 millimeter?
It's 28 millimeter objective, but it's a 34 millimeter tube. So
really?
You're able to get a lot more range
that's interesting.
out of your adjustments.
Sure.
It's more robust, larger, more light transmission.
Okay.
Because
generally when somebody first says it's a 28 millimeter objective lens, you think, oh, well, that's just a little skinny tube.
Right.
It's not what it is at all.
Not at all. We have a 34 millimeter tube, so it's robust, it's strong. Again, good from everything from competition to military law enforcement, dangerous game, slug guns. I mean, you name it. You can do it.
Whatever you want to do.
And with that segment circle, you go from everything from really up close and personal. You bracket it in that segment circle.
Right, just put it in the middle, pull the trigger.
Exactly, to very good precision aiming out to distance.
All right. Hold on a second here, Eddie. We'll take a quick break here. We've got some other things we want to talk about.
Okay.
Because you guys have been real busy bringing out all kind of new cool stuff.
Yes, sir.
We are at the SHOT Show 2017 in the Colt booth. They're hosting us here, having a ball, talking with folks from Trijicon, and we'll be having some more new cool stuff to tell you about in just a minute. Be right back.
What's the best self-defense gun? It's the one you have with you. The Taurus Curve is the most comfortable gun you can carry, so you will have it with you. It actually curves to fit your body. Ultra comfortable, snag-free, made in the USA. Built in light and laser. 10.2 ounces of .380 firepower. Double action only. The world's first and only curved firearm. Details at TaurusUSA.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
It's really pretty simple. Your carry gun is a life-saving device. It must be with you. That's what the Springfield Armory XDS is all about. Small enough to carry, big enough to shoot comfortably, shockingly slim, single stack, with a 3.3-inch or 4-inch barrel, available in 9, 40, or 45. Highly accurate, great trigger, fiber optic front sight for fast aimed fire. The XDS at Springfield-Armory.com. That's Springfield-Armory.com.
Used guns can be a great value, but you have to know who you're buying from. What if you could buy quality used guns with a lifetime warranty from the Internet's largest online reseller? That's what you get at Dewey'sGuns.com. They stand behind every firearm purchase for life. If you have a problem, they'll either fix or replace your gun. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and more. Check out their inventory today at Dewey'sGuns.com. Way too much cool stuff going on around here. We got sights and optics and guns and ammo and stuff. We're in the SHOT Show, of course, in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you've ever been here, you know what I'm talking about. If you've never been here, I wish you could join us, but, it's not open to the public. This is strictly a trade show. Eddie Stevenson is joining us here from Trijicon. It's where you guys show your products to dealers, distributors. It's a sales. It's a trade show is what it is.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Very important for us.
Yeah, very important trade show. Okay. Your HD sights. Talk to me.
I want to talk about the new Trijicon HD XR night sights.
Okay.
We're the innovators in the night sight industry. Everyone knows Trijicon.
Sure.
Our night sights, we kind of built that entire market, and we perfected it over the years. We came out with the HD a couple years ago, and that's a front sight emphasis night sight. Its rear sights are muted. The front sight is really high vis with different color, green or red or yellow front sights for really daytime or nighttime use. And it's a larger front sight, and we've seen the need in the past year or so from certain federal law enforcement agencies that they need to be more accountable. They want to have better grouping, more precision shooting. They still want all those attributes of an HD night sight, but they want to be able to see the target a little bit better, account for their groupings, be a little more accurate at range. So we developed the HD XR night sight.
Does it help with speed on target? I would think maybe a little bit brighter, a little bigger. It's
still awesome for up close because you have all the brightness in daylight use that you've ever had. You still have the tritium inserts for front and rear posts for nighttime.
Right.
But when you're shooting on target or you have to be accountable for where you're going and your accuracy. This allows you, all it is a more narrow front sight blade. It's very simple, but think about it. It allows you to be a little bit more situational aware, more precision for shot placement, and it has absolutely been extremely popular here at the show.
We shot that at the range, and I will tell you, I just thought, I would just use that for everything.
Right, and that's what we're hearing. So,
I shot that thing, you could choose from one to the other. Well, actually, no, I think I would just put this on my pistol and use this for everything.
I do believe there's still going to be a certain segment that enjoy the original HD sights because it's big and bold and bright. And let's face it, for most carry applications for protection, it's point and shoot, and you want to be aware of that front sight. And that's what it's all about. But if you really want to boil down, get the precision and the accuracy, and be more happy with your groupings, I think those people are going to be more happy with the XR.
And it's called the
HD XR.
XR.
You can think of extended range or whatever you want to call it.
Just a little bit more precision with that little narrower front sight.
And it still has the tritium for nighttime use. Let's not forget that.
It's a night sight.
It's still a night sight.
Right.
And, we're never going to get away from that. But it's been extremely popular. They retail for $175. You take it to your gunsmith. We have just about every platform available. So really easy.
Whatever your pistol is, you can probably stick it on there. What else you guys been doing?
The other thing that's been really exciting is the MRO we announced last year. That's our miniature rifle optic.
Right.
It's our mid-size reflex sight. When we launched it a year and a half ago, it was unbelievable, the reception we've received.
Sure.
Beautiful price point. It comes right in there with a lot of our competitors, and we've done things a little bit better, I believe. It's a 2 MOA dot. It's good for ARs, shotguns, just about anything you can put a mid-size reflex
for home defense, turkey hunting?
Absolutely. I've done that, absolutely.
Have you?
But we came out with the MRO Patrol for this year. And honestly, what we did was we developed a proprietary base, scope caps, kill flash, all the 9 yards that you might want to put on it to accessorize it, to make it ready to go. Therefore, patrol. It's ready to put on your gun and deploy immediately.
Go out. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, of course, it's going to cost more because we added the accessories.
Yeah, you modded it up.
Exactly. It's about a $900 MSRP, but it's ready to go. You take it out of the box, put it on the gun, and you're ready to.
Called the MRO Pro. Is that right?
MRO Patrol.
Patrol. Okay. MRO Patrol.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and that's it for that category. It's been extremely successful for us.
And for those who are wondering, yes, you still have the ACOG. Yes, you still have all the other stuff.
We have the VCOG, which is our variable power version. The RMR. I do want to say the RMR handgun realm has done nothing but explode at this point.
Well, once you start trying a reflex like an RMR on a handgun, he's kind of going, Oh, you mean I don't have to try to look at the front sight and the rear sight and the target?
Exactly.
It's like, oh yeah, this is going to work for me. I'm all over that.
And properly installed, you still have your sights. You can use suppressor night sights if you want.
Okay.
It's still on the gun. You can see through the optic if you need it. And Tom, I just learned a few days ago that another law enforcement agency is now adopted the Trijicon RMR as their daily carry
for handguns?
Optic for handguns. Yeah, and we're actually seeing it more and more. Think about it. The more you age, you get farsighted. You don't have to deal with those visual issues.
Right. No.
And once you learn, there is a learning curve, but once you learn to find that dot, both eyes open, place the dot on target, it's extremely fast, extremely accurate.
Right.
Your ranges expand beyond anything you could have ever done with iron sights.
Sure.
And it's extremely popular, and it's only growing at this point.
We're joined right now by a guy who never uses his sights. Rob Leatham is sneaked up behind us there.
You got to watch it. I'm like that. Sneaky Tom.
He's sneaky. He's kind of stealthy. So sights are good. You should write that down.
That should be that's a T-shirt. Sights are good.
Sights are good. There you go. All right, there it is. So we're going to be yakking with Rob. We're going to hot seat you guys, Eddie.
Okay.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you so
everything.
much.
The only thing wrong with you is you do not take me on these hunts because, man, I am as jealous as I can be.
We'll have to work on that. Maybe Rob can go with us and teach us how to shoot a little bit.
We will do some of that. Exactly. All right. Thanks, sir.
Thanthey
tell them where they can find out more about Trijicon.
Simple. Trijicon.com.
Trijicon.com.
All the new products are there.
Yeah, Trijicon. Nobody can spell it except for me.
It's good stuff. Go there, go often, buy often.
There you go.
Shameless plug.
Thank you, guys.
That's right.
I never plug anything if I don't get anything for it, so that I must actually like the product.
That's exactly right. Take care, Eddie. Rob Leatham joins us right now.
Tom Gresham, what's going on?
Why are you here?
I assume we have to shamelessly plug a product or two, or we can do what we always do and ignore that.
We generally do.
And talk about whatever we are and hope that our bosses aren't listening. Yeah, it's our little secret. Nobody needs to know.
Right.
Nobody needs to know.
So what's going on in the booth? What are people asking you about?
Well, obviously the most significant thing we've done in a long time is to have the Saint rifle out.
Right.
So everybody's come by to see it. For me, I'm short attention span theater. So, we introduced the thing the first weekend in November.
What's that, a chicken?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, squirrel. So it's kind of it's new for everybody here because it's the first time publicly anybody's seen it. But it's been on sale already, so it's not really a new thing. But that's the most significant. We have a few variations. We have a new EMP4 that has concealed carry cut, so it's kind of that bobtail look on the back.
And for those who don't know, the EMP is just one of the sweetest shooting pistols. God, what a nice package. It's hard for people to understand. We did show them a little bit of behind the scenes. We had so much fun shooting that Popperpalooza video out. We were right here in Vegas when we did that.
Yeah, we were at Clark County
Range out there. Yeah, so 100 poppers and a rifle, and nobody had ever done it. And you're thinking, I don't know how this is going to work, guys.
Well, we had no idea what was going to go on. I mean,
just kind of we'll set them. Oh, so we tell the guys to set up the targets overnight, right? And we get out there in the morning.
I heard about this again today. Drew and the crew.
I'm sure you did.
Crew of 7-8 people out there.
We're talking about 100 poppers, and these things are heavy, and they're a beast. They've got them all set out. And we walk out there in the morning, I'm going to have to be the guy, aren't I?
It's got to be you, not me this time.
I'm going to have to be the guy. I said, guys, I really, really appreciate you coming out late last night and setting everything up. Now we got to move everything.
Now we're going to move all of them, everything. And you know what? The proof is in the pudding. And if you look at the layout and the video we shot on it, it looked awesome. But it's the most fun thing I've done in a long time. It wasn't serious. It wasn't meant to be serious. No. It was like, okay, well, we sat down and said, let's do something different.
You said, what if?
Yeah.
We did a lot of what ifs on
What if you could get a target company, I don't know, say Action Target, to give you 100 targets, 100 poppers. It started out as, let's get 10 of these things out there, and we'll do a whole bunch of little videos showing us shooting them in different orders, making the gun look good.
We had several conference calls on this and all. And we said, well, but then you get to the whole, well, what if? And then Rob said, wait, I know the guys at Action Target.
Yep.
I could abuse my friendship.
Ryan's really the one that pulled the trigger on the thing because when he was talking to him, because with Chad, it's like if 10's what you want, Chad wants 1,000. I was like, Chad, 1,000 poppers. I mean,
do you understand what this weighs?
You don't even understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And Ryan said, I'll talk to him. Because originally we were thinking this is going to be 50. If we're lucky, we're going to see 25 or 50 targets. Because I'd actually called a bunch of ranges and said, do any of you guys actually have 100.
We're going to go scrounge targets.
Poppers. Yeah, we're going to scrounge them around. And so I'm like, well, I could probably get you 100 steel. I got some squares and some this. Nah, we want them all to look new. So I actually came in and gave us 100 brand new.
These things are expensive.
They are.
I mean, they're expensive, and they're heavy. That's the other part.
Yeah,
so when you ask people to move them all again,
And I never picked one up that weekend. Do you know that?
Really?
I never reset one. I never actually loaded a magazine.
We have actually video of you pulling one that had fallen down and resetting.
Well, I was setting the tension of it.
Right, you were setting the screws on them.
The screws to
so
get them.
So fall down if you missed them closely, they'd go down.
It'd fall down if I was close.
Yeah.
The behind stuff they don't know. Some of that frangible ammo, that gun didn't really shoot as great as I would have liked at the longer targets. And we found out later the scope mount was broken. So on the side I was using, when we found that piece of the scope mount, I didn't really realize that's
you were supposed to have leftover parts? Is that what you're saying?
There wasn't supposed to be leftover parts. So I'm shooting and the dot's moving like this, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I just keep shooting because look how much ammo I had.
That's right.
Who
You
would
have
care?
a table full of loaded mags. So, eventually you're going to hit something.
Yeah, I've
right?
got to hit them eventually. I'm sure.
Yeah. It was a hoot, and we got the beautiful drone footage of it, the whole deal.
Yeah, your crew did a great job as always, and they mask what I actually am like as much as possible.
Well, we do have a lot of stuff never makes the cut, but
they probably don't know that about 1 out of every 20 seconds is usable. Because all the rest of it is basically, what do we call the pieces we don't use? Not B-roll.
There's some B-roll that never makes it.
Yeah, never makes it.
It's actually the stuff we don't use is usually we just call it the Rob footage.
It's the Rob footage, and at the end there's a lot of that left. But it is fun, and it's always an honor working with you guys too.
It's a hoot. We get to do some fun stuff. The Saint is going over real well.
The market has accepted that product and purchased it, and the biggest complaint we get now is when can I get one? Which is for a manufacturer. Thanks to everybody out there. That's the best thing can happen.
That's the good news and the bad news.
It is the good news and the bad news. So very popular, very well received. We're having absolutely no problems with them at all, and I mean that's
all you could ask.
That's the best thing you could ask.
When you throw it out there, and people are going to immediately just run gazillions of rounds through it.
Well, look what we did.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to be any worse than we did. On one of those cuts, I think I shot 150 rounds and couldn't even hold the gun.
And it's like we were pouring water over it, steam's coming off. Those guns never went down, by the way.
No. And it was 100 degrees while we were shooting, so they never really had a chance to cool down.
Yeah, well, other than, waterboarding your...
Yeah, we waterboarded the gun. Yeah, the behind-the-scenes stuff is way better than what we showed you.
That's not politically correct.
That's not right.
But then again, that's just us. So.
Yeah, so we shot it at Guantanamo, right? Is that
no, I don't think so.
Wait, can I not say that? Did I step over the line again?
You may have just gone a bridge too far there. Oh, my God. All right, hold on. In other words, you be quiet for a minute.
All right.
We'll be right back with Rob Leatham at SHOT Show 2017.
Welcome back to Gun Talk, live from the 2017 SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. From the Colt booth, here's Tom Gresham.
All right, now we are actually back at the 2017 SHOT Show. We were just doing a little practice run there, Jets. I'm visiting with Rob Leatham and Stray Children who show up here, and I'll let you handle the introduction for Phil.
Well, if you've never been to the SHOT Show, there's just aisles and aisles of people walking around, and all the vendors are here. And we're actually in the Colt booth across from Sig Sauer, and happen to notice, I'll use the term friend, but I think acquaintance might be more accurate.
A person that you have spent time with.
A person I've spent time with walking by, and it's Phil Strader, and we had to bring him in because we have a history. Because Phil has single-handedly choked more times than any other shooter I've ever been with to allow me to win national championships.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Chip?
You got to be good at something. And, my dad always used to tell me,
just own it.
If you can't be good at one thing, be good at anything. And if that means I'm good at helping you win more national titles.
But now,
that's great.
Now, to be fair, Phil has beat you.
Well, he did one time, actually twice. I'm told. I have no recollection of those events.
Do we count
occurring.
Steel Challenge?
We don't count Steel Challenge. Of course not. Lots of people beat me at Steel Challenge. It's like people beat me at dieting. Are you going to take credit for that?
Well,
how is that a victory?
That's a good point. Yeah, well, Robbie, it only takes so many knee surgeries before he just stops being good.
I see.
And
so what, do you just kind of kick him in the knees when you go by?
Well, I felt bad for him. It's like, this guy's on the end of his rope. He's not going to win that many more matches, so let's just give him some wins.
Then he goes all bionic and knee on you.
Yeah, just so for 10 years, I just let him beat me just to get him,
That's awfully nice of you.
It just sounds 25-time national champion. It sounds so much better than 11 or 12. So I just, hell with it, let him win. Let him win, and now I'm done. I'm done. Let him win. Screw it. I'm just going to keep beating him until
historically
he dies. Hopefully tomorrow.
Which loss is more frustrating for you? The one at the Nationals in Bend, where you missed a target on the last stage, knew it, and didn't even, because by laziness or stupidity, I don't know which, you just chose not to shoot it again.
I don't remember that match.
Or at the Bianchi Cup, where we all went and watched you, and you knew exactly the X count you had to shoot, and you dropped exactly the right amount of points and X's to lose.
I have no memory of that, Senator.
I don't remember any of that. So I guess it's equal. I'll say this.
Here's a question for you guys. I mean, you're serious competition shooters. You remember the shots in these matches?
I remember significant events. Yeah,
okay.
Significant emotional events.
You really do. Because when you're scarred that way.
I'm scarred.
Exactly what
he's fine. He's scarred in a good way. So let me play this out for you. This jerk goes and misses a plate at the Bianchi Cup. So he should have won metallic, and he missed a plate. So then I was up, and I had won the barricade event like 2 years in a row. And this was the year I think they let us put our hands on it or something like that. And he says, you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? That's what he says. You know what's going to happen is you're going to get up there and you're going to drop a 5, and I'm going to beat you on X count. And I said, Robbie, I've never dropped a 5 on a barricade in 3 years. That's not going to happen. Was it the last shot? Last string
of fire.
Dropped a 5. And
he's just put it in your head.
He beat me in X count. And if that wasn't good enough, he beat me in the shoot-off again. So, if you're going to be second to someone, it may as well be to an old, run-down, bad-kneed fat dude, I guess. I don't know.
See, do you feel that love? I hear that as love and gratitude.
That's right. So you guys just get to know each other.
Yeah. I will say this. I hate giving Rob credit for anything. God, I hate it. But I will say that every time you fill out a match form, you have to fill out your application or your registration form, and there's a squad with. And every time I fill it out, I always say squad with Rob Leatham, because he brings out the best in competitors, because as old as he is and as fat as he is, he's still very, very good. He's still at the top level, which not a lot of shooters can say that.
The SOB just keeps beating people.
I know.
He does. That's what I'm trying to say.
I can honestly say that I shoot better with him than when I'm shooting with anyone else.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Are there people that you shoot better with?
Yeah. Yeah, the people that are focused on what they're doing, but they're not wound up. Some guys get up there, and Phil and I are not those guys. Some guys get up there, and they're focused from the morning they wake up, and they can't talk to you. They're nervous. You can tell they're tight. That helps me in that I know that they're going to probably fail.
You can't hold on to that all day long.
No, you can't. It happens in seconds.
Right.
So I can focus for 7.5 seconds or 3.9 seconds or 31.7 seconds at a time. And the rest of the time, you got to realize you have to survive the rest of the day. And you haven't Phil there, this is what you're seeing here. This happens all day long. Other than we haven't told you
here all
yet.
Week. Yeah.
Right, we're here all week. The only part we haven't told you about how much. You should see some of the text messages, the creative ways we've decided that we want the other person to die.
I've seen one of you interrupt the other while we're doing a guns and gear shoot in the studio. What was that about?
Well, it's personal. At this point, it's personal.
The phone's ringing and you're going.
Yeah, we've probably come up with at least 1,000 ways to kill each other.
To kill each other, yeah. It's creative as all get out, too.
That's the fun part.
There's the fun in our lives right there, Tom.
Right. That brings joy in our life to think about each other dying.
It is sad.
Yeah.
You do understand. It's just sad.
Yeah, but it's funny. If you were there for all this, I imagine everybody else in the squad doesn't know how to handle it.
No.
Because you got the guys that are trying to focus, and they're like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Oh, they're explaining how they want each other to die horribly, and then they're like, well, are they trying to pay attention? So be careful. When they're doing that, that's when they're most dangerous.
Yes.
That's when they're going to shoot the best.
Well, I will tell you, my dad played a lot of golf with like Lee Trevino and those guys, and so Trevino said, nobody can concentrate for 18 holes.
Right.
He says he's joking with the crowd, he's having a ball, he walks up to the ball, he concentrates for the 2 seconds it takes to hit the ball, and then he's back, right? So there you go.
Right.
Hold on to that thought a second. We've got to come right back after this break. We're at the Colt booth, and we're talking with SIG, and we're talking with Springfield Armory, and you never know who we're going to talk with next. Be right back with more Gun Talk.
Laser sights increase confidence, regardless of experience level. Whether you're learning the fundamentals, a seasoned shooter, or simply overcoming aging eyes, laser sights provide instant feedback, providing immediate confidence and enjoyment for a new shooter. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
The pistol that redefined pocket carry just got even better. The Ruger LCP2 has improved sights, an easy-to-rack slide, a larger textured grip surface for a secure grip and recoil reduction, and a short, crisp, single-action trigger pull for real-world accuracy. It's so small and light that there's no reason to ever leave home without your LCP2. A serious pistol in a pint-sized package. Learn more about the LCP2 at Ruger.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk, and we're at the 2017 SHOT Show. We got Phil Strader with us. We got Rob Leatham, and then we had this. Who was that old dude who just walked by here?
Yeah, Jerry Mitchlak just walked by. You never know who you're going to see.
He didn't fall out of his wheelchair. That would have been weird.
Yeah, he sure is struggling with, aging a little bit.
It's just so sad how he just
deteriorated so badly.
So bad.
He just crushes everyone.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, what are you going to do,
Well, that's why I don't shoot three guns.
You know what that means? That means there's still hope for you.
There's still hope for me, and of course, Phil, since there never was any hope, you could just hope to die before that happens. Yeah. That would be so much easier.
And you probably have some ideas on how you should do that.
Oh, man, and they're detailed.
Plane crashes and houses falling on your head.
So wait a minute. Tom and I both want to know, where are our MPXs?
That's true.
Oh,
this isn't coming out right.
He did not expect that.
Yeah, I'm the pistol product manager. So I don't know what is an MPX.
No, he's actually saying that's not my job.
Not my job.
He's actually saying that.
Can you leave?
Is an MPX something we make?
Can you bring us back to MPXs?
Yeah. Let me go find the guy.
Rob and I both want MPXs.
MPXs.
I guess everybody else wants one too.
I'll trade you some Saints and some XDMs.
Let me put it on my list.
Right. Yeah, this is going to happen.
Why bottom of the list.
He's actually checking Twitter. He's not making notes on
Robbie just realized I keep a picture of him on my homepage on my phone.
Why am I in your...
That's
with a skull and crossbones.
There's a lot we don't need to know here, gentlemen.
At least he's half naked.
Do you guys... No, never.
Yeah. Wow, we took a hard ride on that one, didn't we?
Kind of a tangent, but...
All right, well, Tom, I got to run to another thing. I hate to dive. I mean, I really,
my God.
Can I tell Safariland I don't need to go over there?
Yes.
I'll just hang out with you all day. This is way more fun.
Are you doing demos over there?
Yeah, we're going to do a demo over there, and I'm going to hopefully
just go over there and tell them all to come over here.
Yeah. Why don't we bring everybody here?
I think that'd be cool.
I'll go get everybody and bring them over.
Yeah, right. All right, Rob, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take off the headset before you walk away.
Buddy.
It's kind of...
Be careful. Don't hurt yourself, and don't screw up anything over there.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
So there goes Rob. Okay. Phil's going to stay with us for a little bit here. So, all right, tell me, How do you learn to shoot faster?
Oh, gosh.
Simple as that. In 10 seconds or less, right?
10 seconds or less. How about this? You got to learn how to break out of your comfort zone.
What's that mean?
It means we get so used to seeing sights in a certain way, and we're taught to hold the sights just right, and we're taught to see the perfect sight picture. And believe it or not, that's not always necessary. Sometimes a flash sight picture, depending on your distance, is good enough, and you have to really try to train yourself how those sights are supposed to look under speed. And a lot of people don't see it because, A, a lot of people blink when they shoot, and B, a lot of people, they get so tied up in the target they're shooting at that the shots just kind of take their vision away from the sights.
It reminds me of people who've shot their deer rifle off the bench all the time, and then they get off and trying to shoot a deer, and they can't shoot it, can't pull the trigger because they can't get the sights to quit moving.
Exactly. I mean, that's another thing. It's about training the way or practicing the way you're going to do in matches. I see guys so often they'll get their guns ready for a competition, regardless of what it is, and if it's a speed shooting competition, I'll see them bench rest their pistol and shoot it for groups and then adjust their sights based on that. But when they pick the gun up and hold it offhand,
it shoots in a different place.
So why wouldn't you just sight your guns in the way you're going to shoot them under match or under hunting conditions or match conditions or anything? So that's a great point.
It requires faith to pull the trigger when you don't have a lockdown sight picture.
It does. And I tell you, the best way to do that, and I've done this in classes, is sometimes, like I said, that comfort zone is a tough thing to get through. If you're on the range and you're shooting, we like to shoot and we like to practice what we're good at. But sometimes it's okay to get out there on the range and do things a little out of kilter to a degree. Like I'll do demos where I'm showing people how to line the sights up and what's an acceptable and unacceptable sight alignment.
Right.
And I will actually misalign my sights on purpose. And even in a demonstration, when I've done this several times, it just feels wrong. But it's amazing how close to the middle you can still get when your sights are not quite right. So I said,
they don't have to be perfect.
No, the sights don't have to be, and they're never going to be perfect because you're human. The sights are always going to move. So that's just the way it is.
Okay.
And you just have to learn to accept that unacceptable sight picture. Sometimes you might be surprised how far off your sights can be and still get a hit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How about just going faster and faster and faster? Do you have to just keep pushing yourself until you're making some misses? I mean, you got to be willing to miss to learn how to shoot faster or hit.
You got to be able to break out. Like you can look at it as percentages. If you're always training at 80%, that's a good thing because you're training yourself self-discipline. But it's always good to know where that 105% level is, where you know what you're completely capable of.
So ramp it up past what you can do and then bring it back?
Ramp it up past what you can do, find where that stopping point is, and then bring it back down to your comfort zone. You don't want to get into a habit of practicing to the point where you're missing, but once you get to that point, then it's time to back it down. So you're always training up to a higher percent and then dropping it back and getting consistent.
It's a way of knowing, okay, how fast can I really go if I need to push it?
Right. And then as you get better and as you learn to grip the gun better or lock your wrist better, there are mechanical things you can do to learn how to shoot a little bit faster, but until you get there, it's a matter of learning what to see and learning what the gun's supposed to do during that cycle and just getting more comfortable with it.
The more you do this, you guys, I've seen you guys shoot, you are reacting to things that we don't even see. You'll be like running a plate, and you'll make an adjustment in the middle of a string because you're going, well, I'm hitting them all on the right side or something weird like that.
Yeah. Well, in it, your eye's a muscle. Your eye's a muscle just like any other part of your body, and you have to train your eyes just like you would train your body to do certain things. And the cycling of that pistol happens really fast. It's 6, 7, 800ths of a second. But if you train yourself and you get comfortable with what that sight looks like in recoil and recovery, you're actually seeing more. It's different than lining up the sights and taking a shot. When Robbie and I and all the top guys shoot, we're not just watching the sights, we're observing the sights. We're studying them as they go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're actually moving through and just kind of, the sights are one of the parts of the visual picture you have.
That's correct. That's absolutely right.
Whereas opposed, a lot of us are just kind of hone in on that front sight and lock it in.
Taking one shot at a time.
Lock being the operative word, because when you're locked, you can't move. You can't get to the next one, right?
Right. Yeah, plus relaxation is a big thing. You got to stay relaxed. You got to relax your eyes, your face. The more tense you are, the more likely you are to blink. And if you blink, a blink takes tenth of a second, but the recoil takes 800. So if you blink, you miss everything.
You missed the whole thing.
You missed the whole thing.
Huh, okay. Hey, Phil, hang around, because when we come back, I want to take just a couple of minutes to talk about couple of things you guys have been doing on the pistol front, okay?
Definitely.
Because you got some really cool stuff in the booth over here.
Thank you.
All right. Talking with Phil Strader from SIG. We'll be right back in just a minute. We're at the 2017 SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're in the Colt booth having some fun over here. We'll be right back. Some news about new pistols. All right, it's the SHOT Show 2017. We're in the Colt booth having a bunch of fun here. Phil Strader's joined us from SIG, from actually literally across the hall there, man.
Yep.
You guys have one of the coolest new pistols out right now. The 320X?
320, the 320X series.
X series.
There's 3 of them in there.
Okay. So what is the X series? What's that make up?
Well, it's inherent of a 320. Obviously, we took all the best features we loved of the 320, the modularity and the trigger pull and all that, and we enhanced it quite a bit. We started with the grip module, and we gave it a longer beaver tail. We actually undercut the trigger guard a little bit, give you a little bit higher hand position on the gun, and we installed the straight trigger, the X Series straight trigger. It gives you a nice flat surface to pull against. On the X5 model, we're actually including a detachable magwell. And it can come off with 1 screw, so you can use a magwell for, let's say, 3-gun or limited, or you can pop the magwell off and use it in production. And the X5 also comes with an integrated grip weight, and adds a little bit of weight to the back. The X5 comes with a 5-inch bull barrel. Each X Series gun comes with some sort of slide lightening. Not so much to make the slide lighter, but we knew exactly what the ideal weight had to be to make the slide move correctly and extract and feed best. And they basically said, look, this is what the weight you need to be, and we need to take some weight out somewhere. And I said, well, let's just make it look pretty. So we put lightning cuts on it. And one thing that's really unique to the X Series guns, at least the X Carry and the X5, is we kind of went away from the standard rear sight approach. And now we're doing for that model, those 2 models, we're doing a rear sight plate. So the X5 has a Dawson adjustable rear that's built into a full plate, same contour as a slide, so you can barely notice it.
Right.
But instead of pushing it out through a dovetail, you actually take 2 screws out of it, pull the plate out, and you can put a Romeo 1, one of our optics, right in its place. So each gun, although it is an iron sight gun,
it's an iron sight gun that's optics ready.
Optic ready, yep. And it's not, but you don't have to. It's a unique concept on the rear sight. And of course, the X Carry, same deal, but with a fixed night sight for your carry crowd. And
sounds like you had a lot of influence on this as a shooter.
I did. They give me a lot of SIG gives me a lot of leeway as a shooter, and they allow me to do things that may be out of the ordinary. But this was, I'd love to take credit for the sight plate. It was actually something else we submitted for a contract, and I thought it was awesome, and I loved it, and I just kind of took a few steps further and incorporated it for our optic. But, the whole idea of this X Series gun was to build a 320 that would make a good shooter a better shooter. And, the trigger and the grip have a huge impact on that. The straight flat trigger, one of the biggest problems that new shooters or shooters see in general is when they pull the trigger, they have a tendency as right-handed shooters to curl the trigger to the left,
right?
Which is, it's a natural movement. But if I've got a straight, flat wall to pull against, it almost forces me to kind of
come straight
in
back
a straight line, because trigger direction is just as important as anything else.
Oh, yeah.
And helps keep your sights on target while the gun goes off. And that straight trigger really helps. But, obviously with the X5, the all-out gun, I got a chance to do a little bit of everything.
So really what you're talking about is you're building more shootable guns that feel good, that help the person shoot better.
Correct. And it doesn't hurt that they look really cool, too.
Well, they do. They absolutely do that. All that stuff's on the SIG site, sig.com.
SigSauer.com.
SigSauer.com. Okay, good deal. We got more coming behind these?
That will yet to be seen. I'm sure as the X Series starts to pick up steam and depends on the sales numbers, but
you guys never slow down. I know there's stuff out there.
Yeah, there's always stuff coming. Now, of course there is stuff. I'm not going to show our hands too much,
but there's stuff.
I'm always working on something.
Okay, but don't wait. Get the gun you want now so you can shoot at now. Don't never wait, right?
Exactly.
Phil, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here, Tom.
Fun stuff. Yeah, and as long as after we got rid of that Leatham dude, everything was just fine. Did you notice that? When Rob's gone, it just smooths right
this
out.
went.
There it is. Thanks so much.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks everybody. SHOT Show 2017.